Hello, everyone. I'm Dani, and welcome to our podcast. Today, Great.com talks with Colin McGuire, the Executive Director of the Francis Ouimet Scholarship Fund. If you don't know about them yet, they help young men and women who have worked at golf courses in Massachusetts to obtain a college education. If you're new here to this podcast, remember to press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app. Hi, Colin. Welcome to Great Talks.
Dani, thanks for having me. Appreciate your interest in the Ouimet Fund and excited to be here.
Truly our pleasure. I always say this, it's awesome to be able to talk about different projects all around the globe. And can you tell us a bit about Francis Ouimet's story? I think, well, I've got to say that for myself, but I think for most people listening, we don't have much background on golf. And I loved his story. So can you tell us how is related to golf? What has happened to him on golf and how the fund began?
Yeah, absolutely. You spoke about our mission being education based, but certainly the origin story is golf related. So Francis Ouimet was a 20-year-old golfer in Massachusetts in 1913 and grew up. He was poor, lived across the street from one of the top golf clubs in America, the Country Club in Brookline, and he was scraping together clubs and balls, and his family was working hard, but he was an accomplished amateur golfer, and he received an invitation to play in the 1913 U.S. Open, the biggest tournament in the country, and basically this event was scheduled around the best players in the world who happened to be from Europe. But it worked out where he could take a few days off from working in a sporting goods shop that he worked at to participate in the U.S. Open. Just imagine a 20-year-old amateur going up against the two best players on the planet today. That's what he did back in 1913. So Harry Vardon, Ted Ray from England, they came over, and he actually forced a playoff with them. So they played their 4 rounds, and they were tied, and they went to an 18-hole playoff. And he beat them. He beat them handily, and that really changed golf in America forever. And the number of golf courses, the opportunities for others to play golf. It was originally dominated by the wealthy, and if you weren't wealthy, you weren't playing golf. And after that, everything changed. And the second piece to that amazing story is that right next to him, as you'll see in our logo, the entire week was a 10-year-old caddy. So Francis Ouimet grew up a caddy, someone who carries the golf clubs for a golfer. And he used a 10-year-old boy named Eddie Lowry on his bag the whole week. And he stuck with Eddie. And then even when they went to the playoff, Francis had opportunities to go with more experienced caddies, members from the country club. And he looked over at the young boy who was with him, and a little tear started to form in Eddie's eye, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to stick with Eddie. He got me here, and we're going to go." And that was the first example that we carry on with our legacy of giving a young person a chance and sticking with that mentorship theme. So that's the origin story of Francis Ouimet and his golf legacy, which only grew from there. But that's who Francis Ouimet was, and that's why such a historic moment in American golf.
Wow, I'm actually quite touched by the story. I didn't know this bit about his deep connection with his caddy, and I think that speaks a lot, right? I think especially about how you are conducting business right now, still looking for young people to help them out. And how does the fund begin? Really, it was in 1949, right?
Yeah, he won the U.S. Open in 1913. He went on to win a few other major tournaments as an amateur throughout his career. But and actually, I should say, Dani, that Eddie and Francis remained lifelong friends, as kind of as that greatest game ever played from Mark Frost, the Disney movie, his book. That's kind of how it all finishes. Francis and Eddie walking down the fairway, but they remain friends for life, which is very cool. But yeah, his friends in Massachusetts created an organization in 1949 to carry on his legacy and help, at the time, young boys go on to college. The qualifications, our organization has evolved, but back then it was just boys caddying. And in that very first year, 1949, there were 13 students that were selected to be the first class of Ouimet scholars. They received a total of $4,600 at the time. And over the past nearly 75 years, we've now had 6,300 Ouimet scholars, and we've given out $44 million in scholarships. So we wanted to say, the growth of the organization is amazing, but the ideals are the same. We want to help young people. And now it's all golf operations. It's superintendent staff, it's bag drop, it's on-course food and beverage. It's young men and women. And we have 400 annual scholars receiving $3 million annually. But we're still helping them to afford what we think is a critical piece of their life trajectory, and that's higher education and being able to afford it.
Absolutely. Those are incredible numbers. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people over the years that have believed in the mission, and I was a Ouimet scholar myself. You get to see people that you want to emulate in life, and people that you want to emulate, maybe some people you don't want to emulate. And then you've got some really good people at the golf courses that want to help the young folks working at the club take that next step in life. So
yeah, I think that makes the whole difference, right? Just to get into a different environment sometimes can change a whole life, So it's really impressive to understand how far it's gotten, because when you begin talking, I kind of thought, okay, there are how many caddies in the golf course, how many people are working. But now when you say, okay, we start expanding, and then as the industry of golf, which is also an industry, I think, we grew with them, right? So that's incredible. And how do you structure this help right now? What programs do you have running?
Yeah, the scholarships are earmarked for students who work at a Massachusetts golf course for at least 2 years. So if you put in two seasons of work, you qualify. Now, some students apply and they've been working since they were 14 and they have several years of eligibility. But it's a need-based scholarship. So it's a financial need criteria that comes to determine how much a student receives. So someone earns their title, they're interviewed, they write essays, they have to get recommendations from their school and from their club to show that they're deserving of being named a Ouimet Scholar. That's sort of the, if you will, the admissions office of the Ouimet Fund. And then once someone's admitted to the program, then we turn into the financial aid office, if you will. And now we say, okay, what is the need based of that family, so that we can give more money to those who need the most. And maybe there's some students who either their families are doing quite well, or maybe they already have a full ride, in a merit-based scholarship, and they could become an honorary, receive a nominal book award. But those who aren't, those who might need that little extra push, we're here to reward, an average of $10,000 per year to each student. So we're very excited about, the wide-ranging eligibility of golf. And, they go on to, one of the things that I should just back up is the application, the school selection process, that's separate of the Ouimet Fund. Oh, okay. So a student decides, I'm going to go to the University of New Hampshire, or I'm going to attend Virginia Tech. That's their decision. That we want them to go towards their goals, and then we come in and help them achieve them and help them become more manageable financially and have them leave, graduating on better footing. So we don't get involved in where they go to school. We just help them to make it affordable. Nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, because there is a thing about you have to have work on Massachusetts, right?
Yes, the course needs to be in Massachusetts, but the school could be in.
Can be in. Mm-hmm. Nice, super nice. And I was checking your website earlier, which is, by the way, www.ouimet.org, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
OUIMET. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Go check it out, guys. You can have a lot of information in there. And I saw something about a golf sprint. What is that?
Yes, that's we had a golf marathon for nearly 30 years as one of our major fundraisers. And with COVID, we couldn't get big groups together where they were playing golf all day long, see how many holes of golf that they could play. And they, prior to playing golf, they would recruit pledges and people would donate to their fundraising page. It's a crowdfunding event. And so we switched it up and now it's a sprint. How much golf can you play in 1 hour? And they don't even necessarily all come together, although we do have that option, but they could just do it at their own home course, go out at 6 o'clock in the morning and play as many holes as they can. And it's really that endurance challenge, and family and friends and members, they make pledges in support of that endurance challenge to raise money. And now it's over a $500,000 fundraiser for the Ouimet Fund. So it's an important piece of our budget every year. And it's a pretty fun event too. It's unique, but it's important as well. Yep.
Well, I can imagine. I don't know how much golf I would be able to play in an hour. Maybe not so much. I'm not good at it.
Don't worry, Danny. We don't keep score. It's just go have fun.
It's for me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about the Ouimet? Ouimet Onward Program.
Yeah, that's a second piece of our recent focus in the last 4 or 5 years. Beyond the $3 million in annual scholarships, we're trying to say we can change their trajectory with relationships. And so Ouimet Onward is basically our career services program. And just to back up, just for the audience who might not be aware, our scholarship is not a golf scholarship. You don't have to be a good golfer. These are hard workers in golf. So they're working in golf. Many of them do play golf, but it's not, are you a good golfer? You get the scholarship. No, these are kids that are working on golf courses that want to go on and get a degree in life sciences, or go on to law school, or they'd like to be an electrical engineer. It crosses all industries in terms of what those students are studying in college. So just to back up on that a little bit. So the career services program, Ouimet Onward, is where we have an opportunity for a career portal, so a job portal. A lot of our donors, sponsors, board members, volunteers, they run businesses or they have decision-making ability at companies. And they've seen Ouimet scholars in action at their course. They've seen them on stage at an event. They've seen them speak in front of an audience at a reception. They said, I would love to have a young person like Susie that I just saw speak for the last 5 minutes. I'd love to hire someone like her. How can I do that? And we wanted to bring our sponsors and bring our scholars and alumni together to create opportunities. So the companies get to hire Ouimet talent, and the Ouimet scholars and alumni get that extra leg up and maybe an extra look at their resume. An extra door gets opened for them because they've earned their way to that title of Ouimet Scholar. A Ouimet Scholar means something on someone's resume, and that's our program to bring that together. So it's a job portal. It's also a career fair, which we have virtually and in person. And that's our program that we're trying to build out as a second piece of how a Ouimet scholarship can change someone's life.
No, I think that's a great idea. And thank you so much for backing on that, because it's something that I forgot to ask you. But yeah, when I read first about it, I kind of thought, okay, I think the United States has tradition of sports scholarship, right? And I kind of thought you were going in that direction, but no, it's actually for people, all kind of people, right? And even those that don't know how to play. So
right, absolutely.
Makes a whole difference. And I keep thinking, what are the challenges that you face when trying to provide for such a huge number of people?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many great applicants every year. It's like any selection process. Somebody has to be the first person not awarded, but it's highly competitive. But at the same time, because of the funds that are coming in from donors, we are able to accept an 85% acceptance rate, which we're proud of. It's competitive, but at the same time, it's not too restrictive where, that student is, maybe they're a B student and maybe they're middle class and maybe they've just started caddying in the last couple of years. They're not necessarily a superstar in every category, but maybe this financial help will help them become a superstar in life. So we've got people, getting a 92 score, and we've got some others that, maybe they're a little bit lower, but hey, there's a lot of us that were B students that with that extra nudge, that extra assist from a business leader, from a mentor, meant all the world. So if we can be that for them, we're thrilled with that. Yeah.
Definitely. I think this is like a relief for many people to know that they are not stuck in life just because they didn't have the same opportunities that everybody else to just study.
And, Danny, there's applications that come through that we see on the interview side, and that's also a special part of our process where donors and volunteers get to interview each applicant. But somebody might not be able to get that extra help at school. Someone may not be able to play as many sports or be involved in as many organizations. Do you know why? Because they have a single parent at home and they need to work 2 jobs after school. Taking all that into account is part of the well-rounded student. And if we can relieve that burden, maybe they're able to participate in more activities and get more involved in their college environment, in the culture at their school when they take that next step in college after high school. So we're trying to create the opportunities for maybe some who don't have as many.
It's truly great to hear that. And how can people actually apply for that scholarship?
Yeah, it actually starts the same place our donors can learn about the Ouimet Fund. The applicants or hopefuls can go to our website and apply. It's an online application, and you create your own username and login, and you get your own dashboard about all the documents that you need to submit, and you get nice reminders and be able to streamline that, by the December 1st deadline. So it starts in the summer and goes from there.
So people still have time to do that soon.
Oh, yes. And, someone who, may have missed the boat their freshman year or didn't learn about it, or maybe started working in golf later, they can always receive 3 years of a scholarship instead of 4 or 2 years. Even we have 1-year applicants. So it's never too late to, take advantage of a great opportunity for working in golf. Well,
definitely. I love it. I'm actually pretty happy to hear about it because I think it's very new. It's not that the organization is new, but the idea, it's fresh, it's great, and it's very comprehensive. I love it.
Thank you. And we hope impactful too. Our donors seem to be proud of the impact they're making, and we're able to say, you get to meet some of these students in the application process. You get to meet some of them at the donor receptions. You get to see them and maybe even hire them through our Ouimet Onward program. And, we have 400 Ouimet scholars every year. This year, 450 really. And we're so proud as a headline that in the United States, college students are graduating at a 55% rate in 6 years. So, just over half are graduating. Ouimet scholars, they have a leg up in terms of, that work ethic. Hopefully we're giving them a leg up financially. Our scholars are graduating actually in 4 years at a 91% rate. So we're thrilled that they're able to see that success and show our donors that they're making an immediate impact, which is special.
Wow, that's incredible. And before we start recording here, you said that there was once a Swedish woman, right, that got an award. Tell me the story. I'd like to hear more about it.
Yes, one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, one of our biggest communication vehicles of the year is our annual banquet. And in 1997, we created the Ouimet Award for Lifelong Contributions to Golf. We bring together 1,500 people to a dinner every year in Boston. It started with Arnold Palmer in 1997. We just had Jim Nantz, the voice of the Masters, this past October. But in 2010, Annika Sorenstam from Sweden was our Ouimet Award winner for all that she has contributed to the game of golf and the community. So she created a permanent endowed scholarship with us through the proceeds of that event, the Callaway Award, and we're thrilled to be associated with Annika's incredible career.
Wow. Well, we from Great are particularly proud of that. So thank you.
Beautiful.
And that. And moving to the end of our interview, what are the best way for people to help you keep your efforts?
Yeah, if someone would like to learn more about the impact of our organization, ouimet.org, ouimet.org. We've got opportunities for people who, from a participation perspective, if they like to participate in that golf sprint. We'd love to have our first international golf sprinter who's ready to play as many holes in an hour, all the way to people that are creating endowed scholarships, permanent awards with us. And happy to answer any questions if someone wants to shoot me an email or go to our website. And appreciate the opportunity to bring our story of Mr. Ouimet and his legacy, which is the Ouimet Scholars, to your audience. So thank you.
Oh, we thank you for joining us today and giving us such a good understanding of what you do, and teaching me, I gotta say, about golf. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Danny.
My pleasure.
Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. And for everyone listening, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this episode, remember to press subscribe on YouTube or in your podcast app, because that shows the algorithm that this is an important conversation and more people can learn about the importance of the Francis Ouimet Scholarship Fund. See you at the next episode. Bye.